Hello, and welcome. Today is hopefully going to be a simple recipe. This is to follow, not very complex, but does have quite a bit of planning time. We're going to make Japanese style hamburger with gravy. So basically, it's called Hambagu, I believe. And the gravy is made with like a Tonkatsu base to it. But as it's a rice dish, that's the first thing we'll do. We'll get our rice on to soak, and over the next hour, probably rinse it out twice and drain it twice to remove all the starch, so it's nice to cook up with. So I'm doing mine by eye now. I know how much I need for a family of 4. I'm going to bet that much. In they go, and all we'll do is fill that with water. What I'm going to do, give it a quick rinse. Going to leave that there, empty it and rinse it every 15 minutes or so for about an hour, so that's nice and clean when it's ready. And before we start with our hambagu, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a tonkatsu, I think it's tonkatsu sauce. Okay, now this is very easy. We're going to get, first of all, we're going to get about 4 tablespoons of oyster sauce. I'm doing this by eye, okay. And about 2 tablespoons of sugar. I'm just using granulated. Dissolve that. So get a spoon. And then to that, I'm going to add about 4 tablespoons of ketchup. And back in a second because I need the next bit. And back we are, and we need about 2 tablespoons of that rich oyster sauce. Okay, give that mix through. Finger dip to taste. Oh, sweet. That's quite nice. Okay. That's the prep of the sauce done, or as much as we need to do. What is that? No idea what that is. We'll get rid of that. Done. Okay. So first thing we'll do for our sauce is for our burgers is we're going to finely dice an onion. Now you know me, I'm really bad at this, but we're going to give it a go. Peel it, but oh, bit of a frog in my throat there. We're going to peel it and then we're going to finally dice it, but we're going to leave the root on because the root ensures it's really simple to dice. Done. Okay, so first of all, make some slices like so. If you watch my video, you know my knife skills are horrendously bad, but here we go. I don't think I'm going to do a bad job of that. Okay, that's one done, and then we just go like that, and there we go. We have our diced onion. At the moment, this one's not getting its revenge on me, so I'm just going to put that to one side. I'll chop that up in a bit. I could just lie. It's now beginning to bite back, and now I'm crying. So let's get that, and it's going to get. I'm going to do a very rough job of this whilst I'm crying. I'm going to do it very carefully, and then next with that. That's that one done. So now we need to get that into a pan. So I'm going to just shift some stuff out of the way. Time as I go. Let's get rid of that. The onion skins and the roots over here. And there you go. Okay, now it's up to you what you fry your onions in. Can't fry mine in butter because of my son's dairy allergy. So I'm just going to use a couple of tablespoons of oil. Or more. Can you hear me clattering about? That's because I can't find my tablespoon. I don't know what other rest. So I'm going to stick 3 to 4 tablespoons and then sweat that onion down. We're not burning it, we're sweating it. I think 3 should be enough. So bring that to a heat. That's nice. Still like it a bit, not quite sizzling yet. But I'm going to sweat these down, keep stirring them, make sure that they don't catch. We just want them nice and moist, ready for the hamburger. So I will come back to you when they have sweated down. Now as you can see, they're nice and softened and browning and begin to caramelise. We can take that off the heat. Now we're going to let that cool down. We don't want to shove it straight into our mince while the mince is cold and this is hot. So we're just going to take that off, leave it for 5 minutes, and that's where I will come back to you in the video. Okay, so we're on to the making of our patties. I've got 70 grams of panko there. Okay, to that, now I'm being kind of easy on myself here. Like, you know, those who watch me regularly know that my son's has a dairy allergy, so we can't use milk. So what I am going to do, when I can find it, okay, I'm going to add around 6 tablespoons of almond milk. And what we're making here, it's known as a panade. I tend to do this with breadcrumbs when you make meatballs, but this is panko. So I've got 70 grams of panko, and what I'm doing, I'm adding 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6 of unsweetened almond milk. That just makes sure that for the son, I think it needs a couple more in there actually. So we'll go for 7. Oh, that's alright. That's alright. What this does, it adds to the moisture in the burger. Okay, stops it drying out, and it's a delightful little touch. When I started doing this with my meatballs with standard breadcrumbs, it's a case of never going back. Absolute brilliant thing to do. So there's your tip for the day really. If you want to do, you know, meatballs and they're always dry or anything like that, try making a panade with some breadcrumbs and milk. But there we go, there's our breadcrumbs. And now we're going to crack on with our mince. So into this, I can get it bloody open. I tell you what, those of you that live in the UK, this anti-pack plastic thing, it's great, but it ain't half awkward. So there's 500 grams, and we're going to go for another 500 grams here. When I can get it open, which I can't, so I'm going to have to go old-fashioned. And old-fashioned is using my teeth to open it, but there we go. So here's our mince. This is 20% beef mince, 20% fat beef mince, which is great. It's about the cheapest mince you can get at the moment if you can't get pork and beef. So we've done that. What's next? Let me think. Right, so we're going to have some sugar, salt, okay? So about 2 teaspoons of salt, and then what I'm going to do, we've really got to get in here. This isn't a smash patty. Okay, patty. It's not a smash patty. We really want that mince to be well and truly almost kind of mushy. And that means that when we do these burger steaks and we steam them, okay, let me just adjust the camera there. When we steam the steaks, I need to get that. There you go. So yeah, it means that when because what happens is we're going to cook these steaks, they are quite big, but they are going to break apart if we have those big chunks in. Okay, so I'm just going to wash my hands there a bit. I don't know why I'm washing my hands, but I'm going back into it in a second. So to this, we're going to add our breadcrumbs, which are now once you're in, merge with that milk, and I'll take 2 eggs, or 1 egg. I think 1 egg, 2 eggs. I'm going to take 2 eggs and work on it. Oh. So here's me wrecking the eggs, but it doesn't matter because this is going to be what's in it anyway. So I've opened 2 eggs on the background, and what I'm going to do, probably whisk it, and this is where it gets very messy. Egg, salt, a bit of black pepper, about a tablespoon, a teaspoon or so in that. And the last thing, I was actually a little bit concerned with, but we're going to go with it, because it is recommended. All the recipes I'm looking at do contain this one ingredient that I'm actually not keen on, but we're going to try it, and that is this little thing. If you don't know what that is, it's nutmeg. I'm going to go about a teaspoon of nutmeg in there as well. Maybe 2 teaspoons. And all I'm going to do now is get messy. We're really getting in there. This is perhaps a little bit too wet, so if you want my honest answer, reduce it to either reduce your milk in your breadcrumbs or alternatively remove 1 egg, but it's workable with it, it's fine. We're just going to really work this into a pulp before we start getting messy. So I'm going to put that to one side. I'm just going to wash up in the background. My hands are washed. Now, this, what you see next is for me. This is a bit of water to wet my hands with. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to shape my patties now. The idea here is we're going to play catch with it, so we're going to get generous handful, okay? And what we're doing, this removes any air bubbles and makes sure that the meat doesn't fall apart. So this is quite messy, but it is beginning to take shape. And you're going to do about 20 times, maybe a few more. Depends how angry you are, but 20 pounds to do it. I'm going to shape it. And there we go. There's one of my patties. Same again. Now, if your hands need wetting, you know, got some water on the side, that's fine. Re-wet your hands. And again, job done. Lovely little shaped patties then. Now this will make, depending on the size, I'd say about 6 patties. And what we're going to do, this is then going to go in the fridge for 30 minutes to allow the fat, I don't know what it is, but it allows the fat to reform, making these burgers nice and tender and juicy. Same thing again, last patty, here we go. Well, the last that I'm going to show you. So again, would have been better perhaps to equally divide this before making. So my burgers are a little bit off in size, but they're about the same height, and that's what's important here. So what we're going to do now is wash our hands very quickly. I'm going to coat this, cover it in cling film, plastic wrap, whatever you want to call it, and then we're going to stick it in the fridge for 30 minutes. And that's the job done. That's for prep. Well, most of the prep out of the way. Job done. See you on the other side. And for those of you that are very keen eyes, you'll notice that I didn't put the onions in. So for the final 2, I'll put some burgers back in there. Alright, I've done some, and I'm just going to do same again, same process. Mix that in, because I'm a very silly boy. And then reshape the patties. But yeah, I did want to be pulled up. Although first attempt mistakes happen, I want to make sure that the onions are in there. And I can reform these now. And that's what I'm going to do. So you've seen it. That's how we make the burger patties. And you'll see how we form them on the next section, I think, if I get the order correct. Okay, and here we are, everything's ready to cook now. So we've got our rice, that water's clear, I don't know if you can see that, but there you go. Nice and clear, we've rinsed it regularly, good, generous amount of salt in there. We'll stick that in, and we're not going to touch it, we're going to make sure, let it begin to boil, let it get down so that there's no water remaining, and just as it hits that mark of no water remaining, we're going to take it off and cover it and steam it for the remainder of the time that we're going to be cooking. I was going to add something then, I completely forgot what I was going to say, but never mind. There we go, that's right. Oh yeah, that was it. It was, I always go 1 to 1.25 dry rice to water. So if I've got 1 cup of dry rice, I'll have 1.25 cups of water. So what we're going to do is, we're going to need 2 pans for this. We're going to have a little steaming pan, okay? And we're also going to have, when I zoom out, okay, a pan that we're going to fry our meat in, and that's going to go in cold. So we're going to go medium heat, and what we'll do, the reason we've refrigerated it was with that fat, what happens if we don't refrigerate it, it ends up rendering out and making, so I'm just going to put a little indent, okay, and again that little indent will pop out during cooking, but it just ensures that the burger doesn't break apart when it's cooking. So I'm going to put them on. Now this will take a while because we'll put it in a medium heat. There you go. So while that begins to cook, I'm going to make sort of around 300 mils, 400 mils of beef stock. And that's quite simple. I'm not going to show you that, that's just literally water and our beef stock. Okay, I will come back when this starts browning, which will be very shortly. And there you go, I'm just going to zoom into that one. You can see that's beginning to nicely. My rice is bubbling away nicely there. I'm just going to turn that down a touch. I don't want it so heavy boiling or so aggressively. I'll come back. I need to turn the battery on this, so I'll see you soon. Okay, let's just check the base of these, see how they're doing. I mean, it's certainly cooking. Maybe a bit too early, but we can always flip these back over. So we'll keep doing this till maybe 5 minutes or so they're nice and brown on top. But then we're going to steam them with a bit of water in a pan. So, okay, the burger's still cooking. As you can see, that rice is well and truly boiled out now. So what we'll do is we're literally just going to steam that for about 15 minutes or so. So burgers were still going on, still cooking a bit slower than I predicted, and that's fine. But we're not, we're not searing these. We're cooking them through, and then we're going to steam them. So that's a beautiful crust on that. Beautiful crust on that. Spot the hottest part of the pan, I suppose. Ah, that's a nice crust. So this will be done shortly. I'll be back when these are done. Okay, these are about done now. So what we're going to do, we're going to finish them off in a pan with some water. That will be cleared to one side though, because I need to get on with the sauce as well. Okay, so there's one of our burgers. 2, 3. And I suppose they can be cooking a little bit. And 4. Oh, now they have held together quite well. I'm going to reserve that though for our sauce, which is coming next. So all I've got to do really is I'm going to wait for that kettle to boil, which hopefully I'll be doing in a couple of minutes. Tell me, have you actually had this at home? Have you tried this? Have you tried Hambagu? Have you tried it? There's a Hawaiian equivalent called beginning with L. I cannot remember for the life of it what it's called. But it's like a thick gravy with mushrooms on it. Let me know. How do you think I've done anyway? Do they look good? I think they look fantastic. Please, those of you that aren't subscribed to my channel yet, because 90% of my audience isn't, please do hit that subscribe button and leave me a comment below. What do you want to see me cook next? What do you like to cook? And again, obviously hit that notification bell to make sure you are informed of my content, which is released on a weekly basis. So I'm going to add some water. Bring that to a boil. Then cover that. That's going to go to one side for about 10 minutes before we check. Oh. And I've got to turn on the right hob. Okay. So, to this part. Now, a lot of people, a lot of people do do recommend or do use red wine. Now, tightness really, I didn't want to go and spend money because on wine, and I'd rather use non-alcohol if I can. Okay, so we're only going to be about 200 mils of beef stock there. Okay, and we're going to reduce that down a little bit. There's about 200 mils there, and we do need some other stuff. We'll just let that simmer down briefly. So to this, it's a bit sidetracked there. To this, we've already got some of our tonkatsu sauce on the side. We're going to add a couple of tablespoons of tomato sauce, and I'm going to go about 4 or 5 tablespoons of my tonkatsu. And what we're going to do, we're going to reduce this down now. And by the time that this is reduced, we should have our beautiful, very nice gravy for the hamburger steak. So I'm just going to keep, not whisk this, I'm going to keep stirring. And we're going to reduce this until it thickens. Now it thickens when it can spread, well, when you can do this with a whisk, and it takes time. At the moment it's not reduced enough, but you can see it's beginning to part, and once it's at that stage all over, okay, see, it's not quite there. Once it's at that stage, it's done, and then it's onto our delicious, well, our serving, topping it with a fried egg, etc. Taste it for seasoning. Shouldn't need any salt. Now I'll come back when that's reduced. So this is still reducing. I'm going to test to see if my bow's done. I am going to destroy one of these. My son's will be chopped up. So this is my first time. I'm just going to see what it's like inside. Now ideally, if the juice is clear, should be alright. They are cooked perfectly. Okay, so that's done. So now we're going to do a simple fried egg. First and fried egg. To do that, I need a frying pan. What I will do, and I've just decided, I'll add the onions to mine later on. Oh, lots of noise. There we go. They can still be cooking. That's going to be whacked onto full, and I'm going to add a bit of oil to this. I want a proper fried egg. So that's going to be heated up till it's hot. When that's ready, I'll come back and start to fry and serve. Now my oil's nice and hot. It should be. You shouldn't really break the egg on the edge of a pan, and it destroys the yolk. There we go, there's one egg. No, maybe it wasn't as hot as I thought. I'm now looking for a small spatula because my sauce. So whilst that's, yeah, oh. So that's cooking nicely. Another little bit of dead time there, I do apologise. What I'm going to do, I'm going to just loosen this and start to serve it. Okay, let's just right. Okay, so there's frying. What we're going to do, let's get zoomed in nicely there. And we will go through one of our burgers. And then some of our beautiful sauce. And then that is the worst tower I've ever seen, but never mind. And top with our egg. Oh, make a complete mess of doing that. So all I'm doing at the moment is I'm serving my children's in the background. And done. So the last thing to do really is to give us a little bit of a garnish. I have too many hobs on, don't know where I'm going. But yes, there we are. Oh, that's still frying. Where's my A little bit of greenery on the top, just to make it look pretty. And there you go. This is how you make Japanese style hamburger and gravy with rice and hamburger steak. Hambagu, I forget, but here we go, and this is how we do it. As usual, don't forget, wherever or whenever you are viewing this video, please give it a thumbs up, share and subscribe. Click the links to the right to see some more of my beautiful, delicious recipes. Give that notification bell a ring to be informed of future content. And last but not least, comment below what's on your plates.